Before Rich Homie Quan took over 2014 and 2015, he was just another rapper coming out of Atlanta. When he was younger, he was staying out the way while seeing people around him get in trouble. Back in the day, he used to love playing baseball. He was so good at it, he got on the varsity team back when he was a freshman in high school. Even though he has so much potential, in the back of his mind, he was actually thinking about becoming a rapper. Quan was starting to feel this type of way because in his own words, he thought baseball wasn't really a black sport. He actually wrote a lot of songs back in high school, but he always kept them to himself. He came up with the name Rich Homie Quan back in the 11th grade, and after he graduated, he took a baseball scholarship and used that to go to college. But only after a few weeks, he wasn't f***ing with school anymore, and he also thought it was a waste of money, so he dropped out. The only thing holding him back from taking music seriously was money. All he had was a mic that his mama gave him as a graduation gift, but he didn't have that much money. He got a job at a restaurant in the airport, but just like college, he didn't stick with it for that long. One night, Quan gets picked up by his friends and they drive over to some random ass house. Everybody hopped out the car, but Quan stayed in the back. He has no idea all his friends went and robbed somebody's house and they just brought him along for the ride. They almost got away with it, but the cops came and arrested everybody, including Quan. The thing is though, Quan got off easily because he never had no charges before and he just got bailed out of jail. After this happened, he started robbing houses just like his friends. He was doing this left and right, robbing at least 15 houses before he got caught. He was about to use that money from the houses he robbed for his music career, but before he could do that, he got caught by police. And this time, he wasn't given bail, so he had to go to prison. While Rich Homie Quan was locked up, he saw somebody banging on the table and rapping. He saw him impressing other people in prison, so this inspired him to start doing the same thing. He wrote a song that night, and the next day, he started rapping to the other inmates. Everybody was going crazy, and they loved it so much that they was paying him food and money just so he could rap to them. This started making him more confident and looking towards taking music seriously. He was writing songs over and over in that cell, perfecting his craft. And over a year later, he finally got out in 2011. Finally in the outside world again, he got himself into a real studio after becoming friends with somebody named TZ in a rap group called Loyalty Over Royalty. Around this time, Quan was thinking of dropping his first mixtape. But before he could do that, that guy TZ ended up passing away after he got gunned down. This really messed him up because TZ was the only person who ever believed in him. His death messed him up so much he almost quit music, but he didn't quit though. He dropped his first tape called I Go In on Every Song back in April of 2012. He was making CDs and passing them out throughout Atlanta because remember, this was back in 2012. Blowing up on the internet wasn't really that popular yet. He was trying his hardest to get his name out there, and after he dropped one of his CDs at a store, it actually worked. The owner of that store discovered Rich Homie Quan when his CD was playing on the speaker, and he asked, "Who is this?" He was trying to sign him after hearing one song.
I don't know how it happened, but I ended up getting a call like saying the owner of Fly Kids want to sit down and talk to you. He like one of your songs. I heard Fly for so long, 'cause I'm like, is he playing? So when I talked to him, he was like, yeah, I want to sit down. So we went out and he was like, bro, I want to sign you. Like, what you want, man? You know, I don't know. I just want some money, bro. I just want to be signed. I'm broke. I know this Mike. I know I'm hard though. Don't try me. Don't try me.
The guy who owned that store was starting up his own record label, and Quan was up for anything, so we signed a deal with him. This was a $19,000 deal, and since he never really had that type of money before, he took it immediately. But he had a plan on how to handle the money.
I signed for $19,000. I was so broke, but I was so smart. Listen how smart I am. So this is what I told Fly. I said, look, Fly, I don't even want all my money up front. Pay me every week. So I was getting $400 every Friday. I will have every Sunday, every Friday. I will meet him or have him get it, because I started treating it like a job in my mind, because I knew if I got $19,000, I was gonna mess that money up fast, and it was gonna be
Yep.
So $400 every week.
After getting signed, he was starting to get a buzz in ATL after he dropped this song called Differences. He was doing shows all over the South, rapping songs on stage from his new mixtape at the time called Still Going In. When he dropped the deluxe, he had some new songs, and one of them was about to change his life forever. Rich Homie Quan blew up and got mainstream after Type Away went viral. The music video got 5 million views in the first 3 days, and his mixtape was getting more popular. He was everywhere at this point. He got in the booth with 2 Chainz, Gucci Mane, Yo Gotti, YG, August Alsina, and plenty of other rappers. He was the hottest rapper out of ATL at the time, doing shows constantly. One time he did 3 shows in 3 different states all in one night because he was that popular. He dropped another tape called I Promise I'll Never Stop Going In. He had some more hits like Blah Blah, Walk Through, and Get the F Out My Face with Young Thug. He didn't know it at the time, but this was the first of many songs they would make together. He got on the XXL freshman class of 2014, and the very next day he had a seizure twice while making the music video for Walk Through. It had nothing to do with drugs and more to do with his crazy tour schedule. After Quan made that song with Young Thug, they were both getting really close, and they already knew about each other since middle school. Thug was also an upcoming rapper in ATL, so they were just coming up together. Quan got introduced to Birdman through Thug after a show in Miami, and Birdman showed him this song called Lifestyle. He did his verse in like 20 minutes, and that became another hit. Lifestyle took both him and Thug to a whole nother level, peaking at number 16 and going platinum. Birdman was making a new rap group at the time called Rich Gang. Birdman hadn't had that much success in a while since the days of Cash Money Records, so he was trying to make some new superstars again. And Young Thug and Rich Homie were just right there. Quan and Thug made a whole mixtape together when they was in Rich Gang. They were becoming a dynamic duo after dropping the tour part 1. Right when everything was going good, things were about to start falling apart. They never did a tour after that first Rich Gang mixtape, and a whole nother Rich Gang mixtape leaked onto the internet with over 20 songs that never ended up on Spotify. Over time, Rich Homie and Young Thug were growing apart, and both of them stepped away from Rich Gang. The both of them were really doing their own thing for a while, but what people didn't expect was for them to start beefing.
Ain't that nigga true? That bitch on the corner. You back up your ass up, look over, look like y'all thug, make sure the fuck away from me. So damn.
For the moment, they had a falling out, but Young Thug eventually forgave them later on. Young Thug was really starting to get bigger while Quan was fading off into the background. Back when Quan was still in Rich Gang, Birdman was always trying to get him to sign some paperwork, but he never ended up doing it because his dad wasn't f***ing with the thought of him signing with Birdman. He started getting suspicious of Birdman when his dad got shot at his barbershop, but his dad survived and made a full recovery. At the same time, there was a full-on gang war in ATL after a man named Big Nut passed away. And since Rich Homie was right in the middle of all this, he just stepped away from everything while he still could. He was still popular because he had a song called Flex. This was his biggest song ever at this point. Even after stepping away from Rich Gang, he was still on top, and he also got a song in a Fast and Furious movie. Right at the peak of his career, Quan wasn't putting out any new music because at that time, he was suing his label for some missing money. He was starting to kind of fade away at this point. He got arrested in 2017, and he could have served 30 years, but he got out that case 2 years later. He wasn't popping like he used to no more, but that didn't stop him from dropping music independently because he just loves doing it. Even though he wasn't in the spotlight, he was still making new money from real estate, and he was also popping up in vlogs with YouTubers just having fun. One night, Rich Homie's brother found him on the floor at 3 in the morning. He picked him up and put him on the couch because he thought he was just sleeping. But in the morning, his girlfriend couldn't wake him up and realized something was wrong. She called 911, and later that day, Rich Homie Quan was pronounced dead on September 5th, 2024. He OD'd from a mix of fentanyl and other substances in his house.